My fiancé told me, I can't marry you right now. I need space to figure things out with my ex. I nodded, said, do what you need. Then I cashed in our wedding fund, booked a solo trip to Europe, and posted my adventures online. Her calls started flooding. The moment. She realized I was living my best life. I'm Jake, 30 years old, software engineer in Seattle. 3 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. I was engaged to Melissa, 28, who I'd been with for almost 4 years. We'd been planning our wedding for 8 months, venue booked, invitations ordered, the whole thing. The wedding was supposed to be in October, just 2 months away at that point. We had $31,000 saved up in a joint account specifically for the wedding. My parents kicked in 10 grand. Her parents contributed 5, and the rest we'd saved together. Well, mostly me. I was putting in about $1,200 a month, while she contributed maybe $300. But I didn't care. I loved her, or at least I thought I did. Melissa worked in real estate, which meant irregular hours and lots of client meetings. I trusted her completely. Never had a reason not to. Sure, she'd mention her ex, David, occasionally. They dated for 2 years in college, broke up 6 years ago when he moved to LA for work. She said they were on good terms, that they'd grab coffee maybe once or twice a year when he visited Seattle. I didn't care. I'm not the jealous type. Everyone has a past. That changed on a Tuesday evening in late July. I came home from work around 6. Melissa was sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes, staring at her phone. She looked up when I walked in, and I could tell immediately something was off. Her face was pale, her eyes red like she'd been crying. "We need to talk," she said. Those 4 words. I felt my stomach drop. I sat down across from her in the armchair, not on the couch next to her. Something told me to keep distance. "What's going on?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. She took a deep breath. "I've been seeing David." The room tilted. "Seeing him? Like coffee?" "No, like seeing him. For the past 3 months. 3 months, a quarter of a year. While we were planning our wedding, tasting cakes, arguing about the playlist for the reception. Are you—" I couldn't finish the sentence. "We've been talking a lot," she said, not meeting my eyes. "He moved back to Seattle in April. Got a job at Amazon. We reconnected and—" I don't know, Jake. All these old feelings came back. "Old feelings," I repeated. My voice sounded distant, like it belonged to someone else. I didn't plan this. It just happened. We've been meeting for lunch, going for walks, and last week— She trailed off. "Last week, what?" "We kissed. More than once. And I realized I have feelings for him still. Real feelings." I sat there, processing. My hands were shaking, so I folded them in my lap. "So what does this mean?" "I can't marry you right now," she said, finally looking at me. "I need space to figure things out with David, to see if what we had is still there, if it's real, or if it's just nostalgia." "Figure things out," I said slowly. "You want to pause our engagement, 2 months before our wedding, to explore things with your ex. It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Melissa?" She started crying. "I'm confused, okay?" "I love you, Jake." "I do. But I need to know if David is the one I'm supposed to be with. I need to be sure before I commit to marriage." "You weren't sure before this?" "I thought I was. But seeing him again, it's made everything complicated." I stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the street. A kid was riding his bike in circles on the sidewalk. Everything looked normal out there. Inside our apartment, my life was imploding. "What do you want me to do?" I asked, still facing the window. "Just give me time. Maybe a month, to figure out my feelings." "A month?" "Yes. We can postpone the wedding. Tell people we're pushing it to next year. Then I can have space to think clearly." I turned around. She was wiping her eyes with a tissue, mascara smeared. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to beg her to stay. But a bigger part, the part that would end up saving me, felt suddenly, strangely calm. "Okay," I said. She looked up, surprised. "Okay?" "Yeah. Do what you need to do. Figure things out." "Really? You're okay with this?" I didn't say I'm okay with it. I said, "Do what you need to do." She stood up, came toward me like she might hug me. I stepped back. "I'm going to stay at Mark's place," I said. "Mark's my best friend, has a spare room. Take all the time you need." "Jake, I need to pack some stuff." I went to our bedroom, grabbed a duffel bag, threw in clothes and toiletries. She followed me, hovering in the doorway. "I really do love you," she said. I zipped up the bag. "If you loved me, you wouldn't be doing this." "That's not fair." "None of this is fair, Melissa." I walked past her, grabbed my laptop and charger from the living room, and left. Didn't look back. Mark opened a beer for me when I showed up at his door. I told him everything. He called Melissa some choice words I won't repeat here. His girlfriend, Amy, who was there too, just kept shaking her head and saying, "I never liked her," over and over. That night, I couldn't sleep. Lay in Mark's guest bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything. 4 years together, all the plans we'd made, the apartment lease we'd just renewed, the wedding in 2 months that apparently wasn't happening. Then I thought about the money, that $31,000 sitting in our joint account. At 3 a.m., I pulled out my phone and checked the account. Both our names were on it. Either of us could withdraw funds. I looked at the deposits. I'd contributed $18,000 of the total. Her parents $5,000, my parents $10,000. Her personal contributions totaled maybe $3,000. I spent the rest of the night thinking. Update 1. The next morning, Wednesday, I called in sick to work, went to the bank when it opened at 9, withdrew $18,000 in cash, exactly what I'd personally put in. Left the rest. The teller didn't ask questions, just counted out the bills and handed them over. I deposited it all into my personal checking account at a different bank. Then I went home, our apartment, during the day when I knew Melissa would be at work. Packed up the rest of my important stuff. Documents, my gaming console, the signed Seahawks jersey my dad gave me, photos of my family. Took about 3 hours. Left a note on the kitchen counter. Took my contribution from the wedding fund. You can keep the rest for whatever you need. Good luck figuring things out. Blocked her number. Blocked her on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Next stop, travel agent. Yeah, I know, old school. But I wanted someone else to handle the details. Told the agent I wanted a month in Europe, starting as soon as possible. She found me flights, hotels, a loose itinerary. London, Paris, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Rome. I'd always wanted to do this trip, but Melissa hated flying, always made excuses. Cost me $8,500 for everything. Flights, decent hotels, and some cushion money. Still had almost $10,000 left over. I flew out that Sunday. 4 days after Melissa dropped her bomb. Didn't tell her. Didn't tell anyone except Mark and my parents. Changed my outgoing voicemail to, "I'm out of the country for a while. If it's urgent, email me." Then I unblocked Melissa's number, just so her calls would go to voicemail, but I wouldn't see them. First stop, London. Got there Monday morning their time. I was exhausted, jet-lagged, heartbroken. Checked into my hotel in Shoreditch, slept for 12 hours straight. Woke up Tuesday feeling different. Not better exactly, but determined. I'd been following travel photographers on Instagram for years. Knew all about the golden hour shots, the composition rules, the hashtags. Figured why not document this? Took my phone, went to Tower Bridge at sunset, and got this incredible shot with the sky all orange and purple. Posted it to Instagram with a simple caption, "New chapter starts now." Within an hour, it had 200 likes, way more than I usually got. Friends commenting, "Wait, what?" and Are you in London? I didn't respond, just kept posting. The British Museum the next day, Camden Market, a random pub with the best fish and chips I'd ever had. I turned my phone to airplane mode most of the time, only turned it on to post photos and check messages once a day. Started getting DMs from people. My cousin asking what happened. My coworker asking if I was on vacation. Even Melissa's friend Rachel messaged, "Did you guys break up?" I ignored them all. By Friday, I was in Paris. Posted a photo from the top of the Eiffel Tower. Caption, "Turns out I can enjoy romance alone." Who knew? That's when my phone started going crazy. I turned off airplane mode to post the photo and immediately got slammed with notifications. Missed calls from Melissa, texts from her number. I'd unblocked it for voicemail purposes but hadn't looked at the texts. I opened them. There were 47 messages spanning the last 3 days. First ones from Wednesday. "Where are you? We need to talk. Why did you take the money?" Thursday. "Jake, call me back. This is really immature. You can't just leave like this." Friday, that morning. "Are you seriously in Europe? People are telling me you're posting from London. Call me now." Then a voicemail. I listened to it. She was crying, angry crying. "Jake, what the hell? You just disappeared. You took our wedding money and ran off to Europe? We were supposed to work through this. I needed time to think and you just left. Everyone's asking me why you're traveling alone and I don't know what to tell them. This is so embarrassing. Call me back. We need to talk about this like adults." I deleted the voicemail, turned my phone back to airplane mode, went and had the best creme brulee of my life at a cafe in Montmartre. Update 2. By the second week, I was in Amsterdam, posted a photo on a boat in the canals. Caption, "Freedom looks good on me." That post got 500 likes. People I hadn't talked to in years were commenting, "Good for you, man. Living your best life." She didn't deserve you anyway. That last one was from my friend Tyler, who'd apparently heard something through the grapevine. I finally checked my texts that night. There were over 80 now from Melissa. The tone had shifted dramatically. Week 1, she'd been angry. Week 2, she was desperate. "Jake, please. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. David and it didn't work out. I realized you're the one I want. Can we please talk?" There were also texts from her mom. "Jake, Melissa is devastated. Whatever happened, I'm sure you two can work it out. She loves you." And texts from her friend Sarah. "Jake, IDK what Melissa did, but she's been crying nonstop. Can you at least call her?" I didn't respond to anyone. Instead, I posted a photo from Anne Frank House with a caption about perspective and moving forward. More messages flooded in. Now Melissa's tone was shifting again, back to anger mixed with panic. "You're really just going to throw away 4 years?" I said I was sorry. "You took the money that my parents contributed too. Everyone thinks you abandoned me. How am I supposed to plan a wedding when you're in Europe ignoring me?" That last text made me laugh out loud. Plan a wedding? The wedding she'd put on hold to hook up with her ex? Mark texted me around then. "Dude, Melissa showed up at my apartment today. She was asking where you are when you're coming back. I told her I didn't know. She tried to get Amy to talk to you. This is getting nuts." "Let it get nuts," I texted back. "I'm eating stroopwafels in Amsterdam and living my best life." "You're my hero," he replied. "In Barcelona, I met some other travelers at my hostel. Yeah, I downgraded from hotels to hostels to save money and actually meet people. 3 Australian guys and 2 girls from Canada. We all went out for tapas and drinks. First time I'd really socialized with strangers in years. Melissa always hated meeting new people, so we rarely did spontaneous stuff like that. I posted a group photo, caption, "New friends, new experiences. Life's good." That post got over 700 likes, and that's when things really escalated. Update 3. My phone rang at 2 a.m. Barcelona time while I was out with my new friends. I'd been drinking sangria and actually having fun for the first time in weeks. I didn't recognize the number but answered anyway because I was tipsy and not thinking. Jake? Oh, thank God. It was Melissa. How did you get this number? I called Mark's office line, told his receptionist it was an emergency. She gave me your number. Jake, please, we need to talk. I hung up. Blocked that number too. She called back from another number. I didn't answer. Text from that new number. I borrowed a friend's phone. Jake, please. I canceled things with David. It was a huge mistake. I want you. I want us. Come home and we can fix this. I was drunk enough to finally respond. There's nothing to fix. You wanted space to figure things out with your ex. I gave you space. Now I'm figuring things out on my own. That's not what I meant by space. Then you should have been clearer. Have a nice life, Melissa. I blocked that number too. The next day, nursing a hangover, I got an email from her. Long, rambling, full of apologies and explanations. David had been pressuring her to give him another chance. She'd been confused about her feelings. She'd realized after 1 week that it was all a mistake, that she loved me, that David wasn't the person she remembered. I'm willing to go to couples therapy, she wrote. I'll do whatever it takes. Just please come home. I didn't respond. Instead, I went to Park Qley, took stunning photos of the mosaic architecture, posted them with the caption, "Some things look beautiful, but are actually just broken pieces put together. Glad I'm choosing whole things from now on." My follower count had somehow jumped to 2,400. People were eating this up. Melissa's friend, Rachel, DM'd me. Jake, I don't know what's going on between you guys, but Melissa is a mess. She's not eating, not sleeping. Can you please just talk to her? I finally responded to Rachel. She made her choice. She wanted space to explore things with her ex. I gave her that space. Now I'm exploring my own life. Tell her to move on. Rachel's response. She said she made a mistake. Don't you think 4 years deserves a second chance? She had 4 years to be faithful. She blew it. I didn't hear from Rachel again. In Rome, something unexpected happened. I'd posted a photo from the Trevi fountain, and a woman named Elena, who lived in Rome, commented saying she loved my perspective and asking if I wanted a local tour guide. She was gorgeous. Dark hair, bright smile, photographer herself. We met up for coffee, which turned into dinner, which turned into her showing me parts of Rome tourists never see. Nothing romantic happened. I wasn't ready for that. But it felt good to connect with someone who didn't know anything about my history, who just liked me for being present and curious. I posted a photo of us at a street market. Caption, "Good company makes everything better." That photo got 1,100 likes, and it apparently sent Melissa over the edge. Update 4. My mom called me. She never calls when I'm traveling, so I knew something was up. Jake, honey, are you okay? I'm great, Mom. Why? Melissa called us. She's very upset. She says you abandoned her and took all the wedding money and you're gallivanting around Europe with random women. I explained everything to my mom. The ex, the space, the whole timeline. My mom went silent for a long moment. Oh, Jake, I'm so sorry. Why didn't you tell us? Didn't want to make it a big thing. Just wanted to handle it my way. Well, your father and I support you completely. That girl, I never said anything, but she always seemed a bit self-centered. You deserve better. Thanks, Mom. Also, Melissa asked us to talk you into coming home early and working things out. I told her that wasn't going to happen. Good. She asked if we wanted our $10,000 back for the wedding. What did you say? I told her she could keep it as a life lesson about loyalty. I loved my mom so much in that moment. After that call, I decided enough was enough. I posted one final story post, not a feed post, just a story that would disappear after 24 hours. It was a selfie of me at sunset in Rome, smiling genuinely for the first time in weeks. The text overlay said, "For everyone asking, yes, I'm in Europe. Yes, I'm alone. Yes, I'm doing great. Sometimes the trash takes itself out, and you realize you're better off. Here's to new beginnings. Within an hour, screenshots of that story were apparently making the rounds. Mark texted me, "Dude, that story is being shared everywhere. Melissa's friends are furious. They're calling you petty and cruel." "Don't care," I texted back. "I'm eating cacio e pepe and it's incredible." Melissa sent one final text from yet another number. "You're going to regret this. Everyone thinks you're the bad guy now. You humiliated me. I hope you're happy." I blocked the number and responded with one last text before I did. "I actually am happy. First time in months. Thanks for asking." Final update. I'm writing this from my new apartment in Seattle. It's been 2 months since I got back from Europe. The trip ended up lasting 5 weeks instead of 4 because I extended it. Went to Prague and Vienna, figured why not. When I got back in late September, I moved into a studio downtown. Melissa had moved out of our old place by then. She'd apparently moved back in with her parents. I heard through mutual friends that she and David tried to make it work for about 3 weeks after I left, but it crashed and burned. He wanted someone with no baggage, and she was apparently too emotional and clingy for him. Shocking. The wedding obviously never happened. Melissa sent out cancellation notices 2 weeks after I left for Europe. She told people it was mutual, and we grew apart. Some people bought it. Most people didn't, especially after my Instagram posts. Speaking of which, my follower count peaked at 3,800 before I started posting normally again. Just regular life stuff, not dramatic travel content. It's settled back down to around 1,500, but that's still way more than the 200 I had before. Melissa tried to reach out once more when I got back. Sent me an email asking if we could meet in person to get closure. I declined. There was nothing left to say. Her mom called my mom apparently, asking if there was any chance of reconciliation. My mom told her no, very firmly, and that was the end of that. I heard Melissa's been dating someone new, actually. Some guy from her gym. Good for her, honestly. I hope she's learned something, though I doubt it. As for me, I'm doing really well. I got a promotion at work last month. My manager said my work got noticeably better after I came back from my trip, that I seemed more focused and confident. I've been on a few dates with different women, nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing anything. That $10,000 I had left after the trip? I put it toward a down payment on a used BMW I'd been wanting for years. Melissa always said it was impractical and showing off. Turns out it's neither. It's just nice, and I deserve nice things. The wedding fund money her parents contributed and what she'd saved? She kept it. I don't care. I got out of a relationship with someone who valued an ex over our future. That's priceless. Mark and Amy got engaged last month. I'm the best man. They asked if it would be weird given what happened with Melissa, and I told them I'm genuinely happy for them. Some people are ready for marriage. Some people just pretend to be. Elena, the woman I met in Rome, and I still message occasionally. She's coming to Seattle next spring for a photography workshop. We'll see what happens. No expectations, just openness. I saw Melissa once, about 3 weeks ago, at a coffee shop near Pike Place. We made eye contact. She looked like she wanted to say something. I just nodded politely and left with my coffee. There was nothing to say. People have asked me if I'm bitter. Honestly, number. I'm grateful. Grateful she showed me who she was before we got married, before we had kids, before I invested even more into someone who saw me as a backup plan. The trip changed me, not just because I got away, but because I remembered who I was without someone constantly dimming my light. I'm good company. I'm worth more than being someone's second choice, and I'm absolutely capable of being happy on my own. Edit 1. Someone asked what happened to the $13,000 I left in the account. Melissa kept it. Used some for the cancellation fees. Venues don't refund everything. And I assume kept the rest. I never asked. Not my problem. Edit 2. Yes, I know blocking someone and then unblocking them for voicemail seems complicated. I wanted her to be able to reach me technically, without me having to see her messages in real time. Worked perfectly. Edit 3. No, Elena and I haven't dated. We're genuinely just friends who might become more someday. Or not. I'm not planning my life around possibilities anymore.